started. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. Yes, I know the new theme song doesn't sound like that, but the new theme song is straight fire. And it's so good, I can't sing along with it. Every Sunday morning at 10:30, we come to you. We give you a little something extra, something additional, an add-on, an addendum to your regularly scheduled LUNSB Show with the Supplemental. We talk about three things. We do your national days of the week. We talk about a comedy, a community, or a charity event that we want you to know about. And we wrap things up with This Week in History, a trivia style. And that's what we do. I don't want to talk about too much about other projects I may have going on. If you want to find out about another project that we wrapped on yesterday, you're going to have to listen to the next edition of the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. Comes to you every week, usually released on Thursday, but backdated to Sunday because we try to stay consistent. Episode 1418, I'm going to find a way to talk about my latest project with award-winning film director Hal Kramer. Let's get things started with your national days of the week. I've got to find the button. I got to get there soon. And I have to triple, quadruple check to make sure that that didn't screw up everything. It did. I could see already that it did. Aga, baga, baga, baga. The level of frustration I'm getting as of late is immeasurable. Immeasurable. Why do birds suddenly appear anytime you are near? All right, there it is. There it is. So if I have that there, and I have that there, everything works. If I put this over here, still works. If I want to see the questions that I need, I drag them over here, and everything still works. It's way more complicated than I make it look. All right, let's get things started with your national days of the week. Monday, May the 11th. National Twilight Zone Day. I am a huge fan of Rod Serling. I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone and the Twilight Zone genre, if you will. I would be very curious to know from our listeners what episode, because we've all seen the Twilight Zone, whether you saw the original version, 1960s, 1970s, black and white, that one, whether you smoking Rod Serling, whether you saw the 1980s movie, or whether you saw the reincarnation with Key or Peele, one of those two. I think it was Peele. One of those two. They started redoing the Twilight Zone. Suspense. Awkwardness. Do you have a favorite episode? Do you, the listener, have a favorite episode of The Twilight Zone? I have so many. There's so many really, really good episodes. Willowsby, I think was the actual name of the episode. The dude with the books. Excellent. If I'm thinking the same one that you're thinking, he's the last man on Earth. And all he wants to do is read books. And he steps on his glasses. No reading for you, the twist. I rather Tales from the Crypt. That's because every girlfriend you ever had looked like the Crypt Keeper. I love Twilight Zone episodes. We're still on that. I love particularly the explorers, the space people that land on a place, and turns out that they're tiny little space people, and they landed on like Earth in the 1930s, and she beats them to death with a broom while she's sleeping. That was a good one. I have so many. The one where they're in orbit, because you remember they were 30-minute episodes, and I saw that. And then there are hour-long episodes, and I think it was one of the hour-long episodes where it's the astronauts, and they're in orbit on a planet, and they spot a dot on the ground, and they go down to investigate the dot on the ground, only to find the dot on the ground is them. And then it goes back to them being in orbit. It's fun. It's a fun episode. I love the quirky twists. Anyway, find a way to celebrate your favorite episode on Monday, May the 11th. National Twilight Zone Day. Moving on. With great comments. Robert and James are active participants this morning. That's always awesome. I don't know why the hot tub dried me out this morning. Might have been all the shock treatment that I put in there. Anyway, here we go. Tuesday, May the 12th, is National Hospital Day. And here's what I'm going to tell you, and I mean this with all sincerity. Unless you work there, don't go there. There are some exceptions. Our friends that live in Rota, Spain, if you want to go to the Navy Hospital to get yourself a little breakfast, a little toasted pan, a little cafe con leche, you want to hang out in the courtyard, you want to visit your beautiful wife who works there, well, do that. But since I've returned back to the Americas, all of my trips to the hospital have not been pleasant. Incorrectly stated. There were a couple of, when I was going through cardio rehab, those people were awesome. I love those people. But, as far as seeing doctors, I do always pull the privilege card. Every time I go to the emergency room, I was like, I've got chest pains. Privilege card. And it gets me right to the front of the line. I don't want to do that, but it seems to work every time. So say I got chest pains to get to the front of the line, and then they can save your life, or at least extend it. But as a quick reminder, before I went to the emergency room and pulled my privilege card of I have chest pains, I went to one of those little, hey, we've got doctors too places, Don't go to the hospital. What are you thinking? Come over here. We'll take a look at you. And they did. And they told me I was not having a heart attack. But they couldn't figure out what it was, so they said, you should probably go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room, and I said, I'm having chest pains. And they said, well, you're not having a heart attack. Okay, thanks. 2 for 2. Several weeks later, I go to a different emergency room, only to find out, yeah, those were most likely heart attacks, but the thing in your blood that says that was a heart attack wasn't showing up in their test. Again, here's my point. Tuesday, May the 12th, National Hospital Day. Stay out of them with everything that you can do. Eat the kale, take the collagen, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop partying with the cocaine. No, all of that. Stop. Live your best, healthiest, go out and exercise. Do all the things that you can do to avoid ever going to a hospital. You don't want to go there unless you work there. And think about that. On Tuesday, May the 12th, National Hospital Day. I haven't seen any comments since a certain someone called me a certain name. But I did check. All right. I'm going to have a sip. Me and Chick Brew aren't getting together until like 4:30 my time. They take forever for treatment. Use the privilege card. Not going to do that, not going to do that, not going to do that. Let's do that. Wednesday, May 13th is National Crouton Day. Now, here's what you may not know. Because you go to the salad bar and you see the crusty treats over there and you just put them on your salad. You don't even think about what makes a crouton. Or maybe you're smart enough to know what makes crouton. But I'm going to tell you, making croutons is easy. You can let the bread just go stale. Saying that out loud gave me the cringe. Don't do that. You can toast your bread. You can season your bread. You can chop up your bread into little chunks to make a crouton. The thing about croutons is they're this much taste, but this much calories. There are a lot of calories for just a little bit of taste. Everything that you put into a crouton to make it taste good, you could just put into your salad minus the bread and the crunch of the bread. Have you tried some fried onions? Ooh, those are good. I'm not critiquing your crouton skills because there are some. Here's when you know. Here's when you know your crouton game is on fleek. Stupid word. When you can just eat croutons out of the bag. Like you have found a flavor of croutons that is so tasty and delicious, you don't even waste time with the salad anymore. Screw the potato chips. You go straight to the crouton bag, and those are good croutons. They're tasty and delicious. I don't care how you consume your croutons. But you should consume some croutons, at least annually, on Wednesday, May 13th. National Crouton Day. All right, that's a good one. I got some comments over here. Let's see what we had. I did use the privilege card, but I might as well got shot or stabbed. Still getting salads from the adult arcade? No, they took that privilege from me. I used to love my salads from the adult arcade, but then they made everything kiosk. You can't order anything from a human anymore. You have to go and punch it in a kiosk and swipe and, yep, not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't come there to work. I come there to give away my money, not to work and not get more money. Fried onions are amazing. At Boomerangs, they have a salad, and it's got salad and steak, and instead of croutons or French fries or fried onions, they put French fries on it. It's probably not the healthiest salad, but it is tasty and delicious. Moving on. That's going to be a fun one. Thursday, May 14th. Do it with me. Thursday, May 14th is National Dance Like a Chicken Day. And I don't know anyone who doesn't know the chicken dance. And if you are someone who doesn't know the chicken dance, but you know me, stop knowing me. I'm done with you. Find a way. I mean, come on now. Imagine how fun that would be, just walking around the office, just minding your own business, and then out of the blue on Thursday, May 14th, you just start because it's National Dance Like a Chicken Day. And by the way, chickens, they don't dance. I've played all kinds of music for them. They do not dance. Yes, okay. You can walk like a chicken or an Egyptian, whatever makes you happy. Ooh. Yes, this is a good way to make fun of a friend of mine. We shall do this instead. Friday, May 15th is National Pizza Party Day. I was promised pizza yesterday. I was working for award-winning film director Hal Kramer. When he mentioned lunch and pizza, that never happened. They just kept literally stuffing salad in my face. Salad I refuse to eat. As part of the dramatic role I was playing in his next movie. I can't wait to share that with you. Anyway, Friday, National Pizza Party Day, me and my coworkers, traditionally, we get together on Fridays and we break bread. We sit around the conference room table. We eat our food, and we talk to one another. Because we're friends, we just don't work with one another. So we bring ourselves together. We go to the conference room, and we eat our lunches together on Fridays. It's a good time. I recommend you have some type of communal food sharing experience at least weekly. So we do that. And there's no reason in the world why this Friday I shouldn't do that for them. I should bring them pizza to the conference room. But if I'm going to bring them pizza, it's got to be, something I would bring. Like, what kind of pizza do you think I would bring? If you're guessing pineapple and olives, I think you're right. Here's the thing. If you make a pizza with ingredients that other people assume are disgusting, and they won't even eat it or touch it because in their brain they're like, oh, that's disgusting, that means more pizza for you. And if you've never taken the sweet pineapple and the salty olives and put them together on a pie, well, what's wrong with you? You're talking bread, okay, and cheese and sauce and random ingredients that you put on top of them to make them taste tasty and delicious. It's not like anchovies. Oh, I love anchovies. I don't think there's a place out there anymore that makes a pizza with anchovies. In the United States, I don't think you can get anchovies on your pizza. But once upon a time, you could. Those tiny little salted fish, boy, oh boy, did they add flavor. And it needed nothing else. Anchovy, cheese, and I was in from my brain, I was going formaggio, and then I was going queso. Cheese. Gordon Ramsay will say fish and cheese don't go together. Wrong. They do, with a little marinade on some bread that's heated to, 1,000 degrees. Anyway, find a way. You know what? If you work in an office, surprise your coworkers. Go to them with a pizza on Friday, May 15th. National Pizza Party Day. Moving on to your comments. I saw some popping in there. Pizza, hell yeah. Pep, cheese, bell pepper. Peppers and onions with sausage. That's just what my wife would call a carnival sandwich. Your pizza logic is so senior chief. My dad would get snacks that we kids could not eat because I love him. Because more for me. That's funny that would come up again. We're not doing it. We're doing that. And it should be on a Sunday. We'll talk about it. Saturday, May 16th is National Mimosa Day. I'm going to continue, then I'm going to come back to James. There are several times we come across one of these national days of the week that I think they should be a floater. This is one of those that should definitely be a floater. National Mimosa Day shouldn't be on a Saturday. It should be on a Sunday. Why? Because when it comes to brunch, it's mimosas. And Sunday brunch is the best brunch of them all. To put National Mimosa Day on a Saturday is like saying, you've got a drinking problem. Does anyone not know the ingredients of mimosa? Does anyone not know what it takes to make a tasty and delicious, slightly alcoholic beverage for an early Sunday morning that, when consumed in quantity, will, number one, prevent scurvy, and two, get you absolutely fit-chased? It's a half and half. Half a champagne, half orange juice. That's all it is. That's a mimosa. And two simple ingredients. 1/2 champagne, 1/2 orange juice. Best served cold on a Sunday morning while consuming breakfast or lunch. That's the best time to have mimosas at a brunch on a Sunday. But if you can find a place that does brunch on Saturday, May 16th, National Mimosa Day, go ahead and do that. Moving on. What's with the scurvy thing lately? I'm a big fan. Never had a mimosa. Interesting. I'm a big fan of scurvy prevention. It was my thing for years. Oh, and last week I had a bad problem with the echoes. I'm assuming at this point in the game, if I was echoing, you would have told me correctly. Sir? Yes? I don't know what that is. I think that one's stupid, and this one's a little tough. Gotta pull deep down inside of me. We'll go with that one. Sunday, May 17th. You didn't last week, asshole. That's got to get cut. Sorry. All right. Sorry. I apologize. That would have been a fine. Sunday, May 17th, is National Cherry Cobbler Day. Many times I ask the question of, what is this thing? Because I know what a thing is, and then they'll add another word to the thing, and I won't know what that thing is. Recently we talked about crêpe Suzettes. I know what a crêpe is, but I didn't know what a Suzette was. And I know what cherry pie is, and I think I know what a cobbler is, but if you put those words together, I do not actually know what a insert fruit here cobbler is. Is a cobbler just a pie that's got like lattice over the top of it? Because, I mean, apple cobbler, I think of an apple pie that's got lattice. But an apple pie could have lattice as well. What in the heck makes a pie of fruit a cobbler? Well, once upon a time, the hostess, they had these little pies. You could get them for like 25 cents. That was the fee I charged to go pick up groceries for my family. They would send me to the grocery store as a child, and I would hump a very long walk to and fro with groceries. This is the paper bag days, okay? None of this handles on your plastics BS. But I would take a little off the top. I would always get me a Hostess, like a blueberry or an apple pie. Oh, man, those were tasty and delicious. They were only 25 cents. They're not going to know that I skimmed 25 cents off of the change. I see someone has answered my question, and I'm gonna look at her answer to the question as soon as I remind you to celebrate Sunday, May 17th, National Cherry Cobbler Day. To your comments, I saw pie without the bottom crust. Who would do such a thing? Why? No. I just found out I'm not a cobbler fan. Jessica says that a cobbler is a pie without the bottom crust. To me, that is not a pie. Hence the word cobbler, I guess. I am not a cobbler fan. I have to have a bottom on my fruity deliciousness. There has to be a ground floor to the thing that I'm eating. There's got to be. Top floor, optional. Bottom floor, absolutely necessary. So if what she is saying is true, crumble topping makes up for it. Miss Jessica, you now have me wanting to experiment with the differences between pies and cobblers. I won't, but if I did, I would have done it on Sunday, May 17th. Moving on, let me hydrate real quick and then let's move on. It's good to see you this morning, as always. I like my bigger glass. This thing just never lasts. And I always have to refill, especially before we do another episode. And now it's time for your Come-Come-Char! Come-Come-Char! Community, comedy, or charity event. If there is not something going on specifically that you want me to tell other people about, I'm going to default to my rescue charities. Locally, here in central Pennsylvania, we ask you to consider castawaycritters.org. Castaway Critters, they've got 6 locations in the greater central Pennsylvania area. You can donate to them. You can donate food, time, or effort to castawaycritters.org. They were the recipients of all of Zeus's remaining foodstuffs and treats. They received a couple $100 in food and treats. Giving it to them was very easy. Not acknowledging that I gave it to them seems kind of weird. But, I mean, they just told me to leave it on the porch, and I did, so I know they received it. But, you know, a thank you wouldn't have killed you. Anyway, castawaycritters.org, that's who we're supporting locally. They take in rescue animals, and they keep them from dying. And another organization that does that for our listeners in southern Spain is RAL, the Rota Animal Welfare League. So RAL, located right across the street from the drive-in movie theaters, can always use your time, money, or energy. I get it right all the time, and then for whatever reason I get it wrong. If you want to donate your time, energy, or efforts to RAL, you got to sign up. You got to go through their training. You could take the dogs out for a walk. Here's a great thing about it. You're in Rota, Spain. You're lonely. You know, you're by yourself. And you need some companionship. But your tenant doesn't allow dogs, or you don't have time for dogs, or you're deploying all the time. You can go down to RAL, and sign up and go through the training, and they will let you take out their dogs. The dogs have a nice little run there, but sorry. The dogs have a nice little run there, but those dogs don't want to do the run all the time. You can take them out into the groves and the bushes and the beaches and just take them for wonderful walks. And the dogs would appreciate it. The cats not so much. The dogs would appreciate it, and it's good for your soul too. So check them out, Rota Animal Welfare League, if you live in central Spain or southern Spain, and castawaycritters.org if you live in central Pennsylvania. And that has been your Come Char! Come Char! Moving on to your comments, and I am out of water. You may have seen that I had a very hard swallow there. Pie without the bottom crust, crumbled toppings makes up for it. Pies and cobblers or tops or bottoms. I would make it for you, but you have the whole cooties issue. I do. So it's so funny. I do. And it's not just you, and please don't take it personally. I know you won't. We're filming a movie yesterday. And in one of the scenes of the movie, they keep trying to feed me salad. Excuse me, in several scenes in the movie, they keep trying to feed me salad. And I watched the salad being made, and it was made with all my cooties issues. It was made with all my cootie issues. So there was no way I was going to eat that salad. I don't care if there was an Oscar on the line. Not happening. So the running joke became me avoiding the salad. So, yes, I have cooties issues. That doesn't make me a bad person. Got something sticking together there. Hey, man, you stop knocking on my Temu, okay? I am like 2 weeks now without ordering anything from Temu. The withdrawal symptoms have been very, very rough. Don't tease me about my Temu issues. I like it slopped in a bowl, add butter, pecan ice cream. I feel like that was a really late comment. Moving on to This Week in History, a trivia style. 7 questions, all with multiple choice answers, set to medium difficulty. You keep your own score, okay? But I want you to participate. I want you to play along. You can type in the full answer. You can say A, B, C, or D. I don't care. If you change your answer and you go back and change your answer to the correct answer because someone else said something, you give yourself an asterisk. I'm not keeping your score. You keep your score. Here we go. Question number 1. In 1961, which astronaut became the first American in space aboard Freedom 7? Freedom 7, 1961, American astronaut, the first in space. Was it John Glenn, Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom, or Neil Armstrong? The medicine really dries me up, and sometimes swallowing becomes an issue. That's why I'm constantly pounding water. So if you see me losing my brain over here, it's because I can't swallow. Anyway, James has already popped in with John Glenn. I'll repeat the answer so everybody has a chance to. Jessica chops in with John Glenn. 1961, which astronaut became the first American in space aboard Freedom 7? Was it John Glenn, Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom, or Neil Armstrong? I have 2 out of the 3 viewers have responded. Waiting on the 3rd. He says Glenn, I say Glenn, we all say John Glenn. Great astronaut, horrible politician. Question number 2. What famous radio broadcast warning about a fictional alien invasion aired on May 8th, 1938. What famous radio broadcast warning about an fictional alien invasion aired on May 8th, 1938? That's funny. I don't think you meant that to be funny. I'm delaying on giving you the multiple choice answers because I think this is just a little easy. Narrated by the infamous Orson Welles, as Mr. Taney has so correctly explained. Orson Welles was the narrator for this radio show that was so good in its production that the people listening to it thought they were actually being invaded by aliens. And it still holds true. If you listen to it today, it's really that good. Which famous radio broadcast warning about a fictional alien invasion aired on May 8th, 1938? Robert with the funny. Here are your multiple choice options. Was it The Twilight Zone? Was it War of the Worlds? Was it The Day the Earth Stood Still? Or was it Lost in Space? Robert answers with War of the Worlds. Jessica and James, they will be answering soon. And I am prepping for the next question. I thought they would be answering soon. Come on, I've done everything I could do. I take up as much time as possible. Give me your freaking answers. Moving on. I can't wait. Yes, I agree with Robert. War of the Worlds. No, you said Orson Welles or Rosen Welles. You didn't say War of the Worlds. You would not get points for this on Jeopardy. They would say no, wrong. Jessica, she popped in with War of the Worlds. There we go. We got everybody's answer. I'm so glad it's just the three of us playing, or the three of you playing. You pay attention, sucker. In 1994, which former NFL star was arrested after a nationally televised low-speed chase in Los Angeles? I don't think this is a difficult question. I think this is an easy question. It's 1994. Which former NFL star was arrested after a nationally televised low-speed chase in Los Angeles? There has never been a former NFL star arrested after a nationally televised low-speed chase in Los Angeles. Ever. Except this one. And James correctly answers with O.J. Simpson. I'm not even going to give you the multiple choice options because the multiple choice options are so bad. I mean, they could have used other killers, you know? No, it wasn't Marcus Allen. Take half a point. O.J. Simpson, yes. Marcus Allen, no. But funny. The options that they gave us were O.J., number one, stupid. And Jessica with O.J., correct. We're all saying O.J. because it's that easy. Here are the crazier other options they gave us. Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, and Bo Jackson. All outstanding, fine, wonderful Americans. They could have given us, there's a lot of people out there that were bad. He was not the driver, Robert. Extra points if you know who the driver actually was. No, who Marcus Allen was somebody who apparently slept with O.J.'s wife. Yeah, not the driver. Which famous ocean liner sank on May 7th, 1915? Again. Oh! Which famous ocean liner sank on May 7th, 1915? After being torpedoed by a German U-boat. I thought I knew, and then there was a comma, and I knew there was more. Which famous ocean liner sank on May 7th, 1915, after being torpedoed by a German U-boat? Here are your options. James pops in without a prompt, the Lusitania. Is he right? Maybe. The RMS Titanic, the RMS Queen Mary, the RMS Lusitania, or the SS United States. Cooper says the Britannica. Cooper should wait for the multiple choice options. Hey, Cooper, good to see you, my friend. The RMS Titanic, the RMS Queen Mary, the RMS Lusitania, or the SS United States. Which famous ocean liner sank on May 7th, 1915, after being torpedoed by German U-boats? Jessica says Britannica. Robert says HMS Dumas. And I agree. Because, World War I's going on. Maybe you shouldn't be out there on a cruise ship. So I got Britannica, Lusitania, and I agree. Oh, she changed her answer. Asterisk. I agree. It is also the Lusitania. Question number 5. In 1954, what legendary runner broke the 4-minute mile barrier? Who broke the 4-minute mile as a runner? Now, I'm going to tell you, this is 1954, and humans have evolved since 1954. In the hashing world, we have this annual event that we do called the Beer Mile, where you run a quarter-mile lap, slam a beer, run a quarter-mile lap, slam a beer, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. In 1954, this legendary runner broke the 4-minute mile barrier, giving it all he could. And in 2024, a hasher did the same thing while pounding 4 beers. As a species, I think we're moving in the right direction. James wanted to say Jesse Owens. Robert said Usain Bolt, which is very funny. It's 1954. This legendary runner broke the 4-minute mile barrier. Was it Roger Bannister, Jesse Owens, Carl Lewis, or the little town round the corner known as Jim Thorpe? Roger Bannister, Jesse Owens, Carl Lewis, Jim Thorpe. If you were listening to me while I was talking about this clue, you may have heard me slip and say the name of the record-breaking person. But in 1954, it was a big deal to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. I'm looking for your answers. All right, James is going to go with Jesse Owens because James was too busy talking, running off at the suck, blah, 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 to hear that I slipped up and said Roger earlier. Robert says Bannister. Waiting on Jessica. And Jessica says Bannister. Oh, no, looks like James got it wrong. How about Cooper? What did Cooper have to say? Did he disagree with his father? Did he give the correct answer? Question number 6. Which U.S. president? And now Owens stood with Hitler for his medal. No, he didn't. He did not. That never happened. Mandela effect got you there, son, because that never happened. Hitler wanted nothing to do with that. Must be Bannister. Yeah, it is Roger Bannister. Which U.S. president announced the end of the European phase of World War II on May 8th, 1945? Which United States president announced the end of the European phase of World War II on May 8th, 1945? Was it... Oh, Cooper walked away. Now makes sense. Was it Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Dwight David Eisenhower or Herbert Hoover? Mr. Taney, he pops in with Eisenhower right off the bat. Probably didn't even get to that multiple choice option yet, but it is one of the multiple choice options. And it's wrong. So wrong. Ronaldo Reagan. Very funny. You make me laugh. You got some funny liners there. Not the correct answer, but still funny. So, again, your options are Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, or Hoover. Jessica also goes with Eisenhower. Very strange. And Robert goes with Eisenhower. You are all wrong. You are all wrong. And Cooper is wrong. Okay? Here's what it comes down to. It's not Eisenhower. It's not Hoover. It's either Truman or Roosevelt. The question is, has Roosevelt died before the end of end of VE? Did Roosevelt die before VE Day or after VE Day? Because if he died after, then it's him. But if he died before, then it's Truman. That's the only options. That's the only choices. It's either Roosevelt or Truman. I believe Roosevelt is still alive on VE Day, May 8th, 1945. So my answer is Roosevelt. My backup answer is Truman. One of those two is correct. Eisenhower, not correct at all. I love you guys. Question number 7. In 1886, what soft drink was first sold to the public in Atlanta, GA? There's a soft drink being made in Hotlanta. For most of you, you already know the answer. It's 1886. What soft drink was first sold to the public in Atlanta, Georgia? Here are your options. Pepsi, Dr. Pepino, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, man, I could go for a Sprite right now, or Coca-Cola. James pops in with Coke. And Jeopardy would say that is wrong, because there is no Coke. But there is a Coca-Cola. Robert pops in with Coca-Cola. I don't know why I keep saying it like that. Jessica and Cooper, we are waiting on their answers. We're going to accept Coke, James. I mean, you've done bad enough. Dr. Pepper for Coop and I. You know, I wish that was true. Because out of all 4 of those flavors, I love Dr. Pepino the most. I am a huge Dr. Pepino fan. But when they said Atlanta, Georgia, that was the clue that gave it away. It is definitely Coca-Cola. I am typing in answers, please, because I also do not know the answers definitively until I type in answers, please, and then it gives them to me. And here we go. Oh, mercy. Question number 1 was not John Glenn. We all got it wrong. It was, in fact, Alan Shepard. Question number 2 was Orson Welles' narration of the fictional novel War of the Worlds. Later, a horrible Tom Cruise movie. Question number 3 was, of course, O.J. Simpson, not Marcus Allen. Not his driver. Have you figured out who his driver was yet? Question number 4 was the Lusitania. Question number 5 was Roger Bannister. Question number 6, apparently Roosevelt was already dead, because it was Harry S. Truman. And question number 7, Coca-Cola. But I still want it to be Dr. Pepino. I got a couple of hours before me and Chick Brew get together for the next thing that I got to do today. So I've got to go take care of some stuff. I love spending my Sundays with you. Even if it's no one other than you 4. I'm okay with that. It gives me something to do. It gives me a reason to live, to get up and try to make you laugh and smile, and to make you feel bad for not getting 7 for 7. And I didn't get 7 for 7 either. But I did better than you. All right, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Brew sends her love, and thanks for that reminder, Jessica. Happy Mother's Day to all you mother... You see what I was doing there? LUNSB